What's up, guys? We're gonna do another found footage movie tonight. The movie we're gonna go over is The Bay. This one is actually another YouTube algorithm choice pick, so I just gotta say shout out to them to listen to my Google search history and stuff. And I'm just gonna say, their choices did not disappoint me at all. This movie was gruesome and just defeating. When I mean defeating, I'm talking like it's kicking you when you're at your lowest. Like, it's so disappointing when they have their little reveal and everything. But I'm just gonna say, I'm glad the directors did that choice, since they made this movie focused around a little town that relies on the Chesapeake Bay, hence the title The Bay. This whole thing, like, they rely on the Chesapeake Bay, and as I've said 3 times already, if you don't know your geography, or if you live on the East Coast, then you know what the Chesapeake Bay is. It's just this big channel of water that just separates like some island from like Virginia and the rest of the East Coast, but it's not like that big gap. If anything, it's like 20 miles. I'm just gonna say, or at least I'm just gonna get into the movie. I mean, the movie starts off with the town celebrating the 4th of July by having some good old-fashioned fun with water-related activities. All of this is being recorded by several different cameras, but the main one you should really pay attention to is a news reporter. Now, I do know there are some different sub-camera plots. Like, there's one at the hospital where this guy is being swamped while he's talking to the CDC, FEMA, and the Coast Guard. There's another one where it's like a police guy is on call with his friend and he has to go watch him, get shot. But we don't get to see that. And I think that was for the best, because you just hear it on the radio. Another one is this like family went out on a boat, so while the whole town is going down in a spiral of just, I don't know, the worst thing that could ever happen to you on a holiday, aside from like 9/11. But I'm just saying, it's pretty bad. Like, there's even this one little girl, she's recording herself like dying, which is really upsetting, on her phone. I don't know, I mean, it's a lot. So I would say trigger warning, because it is pretty gory and they do show a lot of stuff. They do a lot of things with dead fish, so I'm not going to show like any footage from this movie, because I've already had enough copyright strikes. I'm pretty sure if I get like another one this week, I'm gonna get a channel right strike. Or not a channel right strike, what am I talking about? A channel strike. And I can't afford 2 more. I've already got one from a friggin' fish meme that I posted. So if they show me having this really choppy, low quality footage of like this fish getting chucked from a pier, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't like it when they see a guy cutting up a dead fish with a little isopod thing inside of it. But anyway, we think this happy, joy-ridden day would be a good, laid-back kind of thing. Unfortunately, it was cut extremely short because this one lady, looking like she's had the biggest strain of hepatitis and HIV and a bunch of disgusting little things all over her, because she's walking in the streets covered in these boils, lesions, rashes. She's even screaming in pain. She was like, "Somebody help me, the water's dangerous," and a bunch of other gross stuff like that. But like I previously mentioned about the different cameras recording everything, I mean, we see some hospitals being full of patients, some of the oceanographers studying the bay, saying how it's like disgustingly toxic and how Americans are gross. We see some Coast Guard people saying, why are there so many dead fish washing up on the top of the water? We, like I said, see a police officer getting them to go on calls all around the town, thinking that they have a coal problem going on their hands, murdering a bunch of people. Well, I mean, like, if you go and sit through the movie just a little bit longer, the whole thing is explained to us by the news reporter who survived the events of the parasitic attack, and she states that the footage we're watching was seized by the government to contain the spread of information and awareness of this event. We later get more information about how this possibly could have happened, and the oceanographers that I mentioned said this water is disgustingly contaminated. The mercury content is super high. There's like trace amounts of radioactivity. There's a ton of like chicken poop in there, so it's just like all of their nasty diet and fertilizer is all modified into it, and it's just a bunch of goodie bags for just disaster. Not nutrient, but like just the worst thing you could possibly have for this new creature to take place, spawn, and just create even more of these little things. After a while, they do tell us that the parasite that we have in these people is none other than a cute, not so little isopod. And if you don't know what an isopod is, I'll probably put a picture up right here. That thing is kind of cute, I guess. I think they're related to cockroaches, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, you don't want to see that thing anymore. Get that thing out of my face. Alright, so they tell us the reason why they have probably spread out through the town so much is because, like, with these people doing everything in the water, they believe that the contact with water from the bay is what is causing people to get infected by these little parasites. And you know, the mayor of this town has made a little water desalinator plant strictly to use for the local chicken industry. And if you don't know anything about chicken, we eat chicken with parasites. Yummy. And we also use the water desalinator from the plant to drink and use for everything else, which essentially made everything there really bad for you. Because we actually found out that the lady found a report from the water saying it has like the lowest quality rating ever. It was like a D- or something. And I'm like, there's no actual difference from drinking salt water to drinking this actual pond water. So now, just one night, we get to see how this once jovial town crumbled into an eerie, blood-soaked ghost town. And as the night progressed into the dawn, the survivors were forced to be quarantined for 3 more days after the government was able to come in and slow down this process. So, the way they did this, to stop the spread of these little parasites, was they poured so much chlorine into the water, it would probably be like quadrupling the normal amount for like a pool. And any and all cameras were seized, so nobody could share and document this whole thing. But they forgot this one news reporter lady, and she made her own movie. And also, they paid anybody with any semblance of power in the town. They paid them off so they could stay quiet about this outbreak. Fast forward to the end of the movie, with the news reporter thinking she ate and left no crumbs, as she says her name, and she begins to blow the lid off about this can of isopods. Well, that's The Bay. In comparison to the last found footage movie, I had some fun with this one. Now, I know what you're gonna say. How are you gonna compare these two different movies? Well, that's the thing. I'm not comparing, I'm just saying, The Bay kept my interest more than Apollo 18. You don't have to crucify me for this opinion, because as I say, every video, it's my opinion. And if you want to get your own, the movie is on Plex, and it's completely free. So I'm just gonna get off my high horse now, while I still can. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.